I want to say a word of welcome to you to this retirement celebration evening. My name is Roger Patterson. I've been on staff with Barry for just over 13 years at West University Baptist and Cross Point Church. And it's been a wonderful journey to serve with Barry and Charlotte in our fellowship. And we have a fun night planned for tonight. We're going to have a wonderful time together, laughing. There's going to be some tears, I'm sure, shed, but lots of joy and lots of fun. So one moment you're going to be cackling and just kind of bend over. The next moment, the tears are going to be coming out of your eye, and you go, "Whoa, stop, Lord!" You know, it's going to be a fun night. So I'm glad that you're here. Now, listen. Around 8:30, we intend to move you towards the to the gymnasium for a special dessert reception, and I want to recognize the team that has put this all together. And I'm going to say their names. It's going to be a group that's in the back here, and some are still putting a few finishing touches on some things. But it's a group chaired by my wife, Julie Patterson, who helped get everything together. And let me tell you who's on her team. Julie Jenkins, Julie Davidson, Christy Sylvester, Ashley Anderson, Linda Rodeker, Sandra Craig, Betty Pinnell, Jean Pennington, and Margie Fields. And these ladies have put on a great, great evening. I want to thank them. They are responsible for the food, for the decorations, for the flow of the program, for every bit. Notice there wasn't a man on that list, was there, right? And that's why it's going to be so good here, you know. So anyway, ladies, job well done. Thank you in advance. And what I want to invite you to do is stand to your feet. We're going to sing "Great is Thy Faithfulness." The words will come up on the screen. Let's worship the Lord as we sing tonight and begin.
Good evening. To honor Barry tonight, I thought we'd do a word study. You know, Barry loves word studies, so I did some exhaustive research and found some ancient Greek scrolls looking for the origin of the name Barry. The name Barry comes from the Greek word saklap. So now let me explain the meaning of this word. S is for salesman. be a good pastor, you have to have good salesmanship qualities, and Barry is very gifted there. 14 years ago, he came to West University Baptist Church. Our total church debt was about $200,000 at the time. 14 years later, he's retiring, he's leaving us. Now our total church debt is a little over $6 million. And we're as happy as we can be. That takes a true salesman. A is for athletic. We've all heard the football stories from high school and college. Some of his football buddies are here tonight, so we'll find out if they're really true or not. But we heard how competitive he was all during those football years. Well, I found out for myself, he is still competitive. About 7 years ago, we were training for the MS 150, the bike ride from Houston to Austin, 180 miles. So Barry joins our cycling team. We train, and someone told me, said, Barry does not like to come in last. So we trained. The big day came. We all started together, and we got separated, which is not that unusual. We came to lunch, and several of us were having lunch together, and no Barry. Couldn't find him. Wasn't anywhere around. We rode after lunch for another couple of hours and got to the last rest stop, and my cell phone rings, and it's Barry. And I said, where are you? He said, well, Charlotte has just picked me up at the finish, and I'm through. I said, how'd you do that? And his words were, quote, rest stops are for sissies. He didn't take any rest stops. Now, C is for caring. And we all know what a caring pastor he's been. Visits us in the hospital, our family in the hospital. He'll beat you there almost. So he's always there at the hospital. Well, he'd been here just a couple of years, and he came to visit my mother in the hospital who was having a heart procedure. So he visited with us, prayed with us, and comforted us. He got ready to leave, and he came to me and said, I need cash for the parking. I said, okay. So I gave him the cash, and he left, and I said, man, that's the first time I've ever had to pay my pastor to come visit me. But that's Barry. Now, the second half of the word is a little more serious, so we'll start with L. L is for love. Barry came here 14 years ago just to love us. We needed that love. He got to know us. Then he walked us through many births and deaths and sicknesses and weddings and family challenges and everything in between. Barry loves the Lord and loves God Church, especially these two campuses, West U and Cross Point. Barry has always tried to protect the unity of the congregation. He was willing to step aside and recommend Roger to be the next senior pastor in order to have a seamless transition, and that's not the norm. A is for ask. Barry is not afraid to ask a hard question. At Barry's first deacons retreat, he's been here about 2 years, so it's about 12 years ago, at our first deacons retreat, Barry began to show the deacons and the staff how the attendance had been declining for several years. And he challenged us to ask the question, how can we reach out and reach more people for God? And he continued to ask that question, and it ultimately led to the beginning of the contemporary service at West University, which is one way we continue to reach out, to reach people for God. P is for prayer. Barry has showed us how to pray and seek God's will for our lives and for the life of West University Baptist Church in Cross Point. He authored a 40-day prayer study, and he took our congregation through that study several years ago. He modeled praying for God's direction for our church through those 14 years. For example, in the area of capital campaigns, building projects, physical healings, starting of our medical clinic, and this very Cross Point campus. He led us to the Cross Point expansion first through prayer and seeking God's will for what he wanted us to do. That was an exhaustive search for God's will. It wasn't an overnight thing. He took us through many months and looking at how God has answered that prayer and blessed the time and the work here at the Cross Point campus these 5+ years. All of our lives have been touched in some way by Barry and Charlotte. They have walked side by side, living life with us for 14 years. Sandra and I have grown very close to Barry and Charlotte during these years and have laughed together, cried together, and prayed together. Madeline probably made several note payments from the time we spent there breaking bread. We'll all cherish those years with the Landrum family. So thanks, Barry and Charlotte. May God continue to bless your ministry.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy, and they were each assigned a guardian angel. But these angels, they were having a little trouble keeping up. Well, I knew they would be just perfect for my little angel. So I took them away from all that. They work for me now. My name is Charlotte.
Wait a minute, which one wins? Oh, Rock Peaks. So what are we gonna do when Barry retires?
One of us is going to have to go away.
Well, I think I'm getting promoted. Yeah, they need me to cover Roger.
It's not what I heard.
Me either.
What do you mean?
I've got a tough one for you today, angels.
Hello.
Hey, Charlotte.
Barry's lost his hearing aids again, and we have got to have them for this weekend.
Did you check all the printers?
Well, of course I checked the printers, but there are a lot of printers up at the church.
Somebody should probably look in his shoes.
His shoes? Angels, you act like I don't know my own husband. Enough of this jabbering, Angels. I need you to find those hearing aids right now, so get going.
You can count on us, Charlotte. I mean, you know we're good for stuff like this.
Now remember, Angels, no one can see you except for Barry, so if you see him coming, you need to teleport quickly.
Bob's wings are upside down again.
Your wings are upside down.
Guys, it's called European.
Did Charlotte say where Barry left his hearing aid? Somebody's at the door. Teleport!
Man. Wow. Losing my mind or something. I think I saw some.
Oh man,
Where's Bob?
I don't know. European wings.
Let's just cut our losses.
Yeah.
Hey, Farrah, I've got 5 points for Sunday morning. I've got to have a prop. I cannot get up there without a prop. Can you think of something with 5?
Let's see, 5. How about a pentagon?
Pentagon.
Yeah.
5. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Hey, that's a good idea. Oh, wait a minute. Repentagon.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
Listen, Dave is going to be working on your computer. You need to go back there and see what he's doing to your computer.
Oh, okay. Hey, thanks. Hey, Dave, man, what's up?
So you got a virus or something?
I got something, man. I'm always got a problem in here with this thing. I think it's a virus.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I got it.
Woo, thanks, man. Hey,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Good, way
man.
to go, babe. Couldn't
Hey.
do without you.
What's that ringing sound?
Ringing?
Yeah.
I
Can you hear
don't-
that ringing?
I don't hear any ringing. No. I can't hear it. No.
Hey, is that your hearing aid?
I've lost my hearing aid. I've been looking for them for the last 15 minutes.
We got to find that hearing aid.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, did you notice that thing sticking out of Barry's ear? What was that?
I don't know, but he should get it looked at.
Barry.
What?
It's in your ear.
My hearing aid's in my
It's
ear?
in your ear.
Hey, don't you tell Bobby O'Neill or Lonnie Ulmer about that. You hear?
I won't.
Ah, I can't believe it. But I found them.
You found them.
Woo!
Where's Bob?
Yeah, seriously, where is that guy?
Hey! Hey guys! Where am I?
Boy, that's a hard act to follow. I don't have any Charlie's Angels up here. Charlotte's Angels. So tonight, I have been asked to express our gratitude to Charlotte. I just wanted to tell, whenever I think about Charlotte, or most of us think about Charlotte, we think about one heart. But I just want to tell you tonight that Charlotte has many other hearts. One of the hearts that Charlotte has is a heart for her husband, Barry. That was given to her by God. Charlotte and Barry are helpmates. She compliments him. Charlotte is always laughing at Barry. She tells great Barry stories. One of my all-time favorite Barry stories is when Barry decides that he is going to take Charlotte on a little romantic rendezvous to the Galleria. So they go to the Galleria, they spend the night in the hotel, and it's time to check out. Barry, being the gentleman that he is, he says, "Oh, Charlotte, you go down and wait in the front and I'll come round and pick you up." So Charlotte's standing there outside waiting for her husband to come and get her. And there's the doorman standing there, and all of a sudden the doorman looks up and he goes, "Ma'am, isn't that your husband?" Charlotte just kind of smiles and she says, "Yes, I'm sure in a few minutes when he gets down the road he's going to realize that I'm not in the car with him and he'll be right back to pick me up." That has given Charlotte many, many hours of laughter. Another heart that God has given Charlotte is a heart for her children and grandchildren. Charlotte lights up when she talks about her kids, and she loves their spouses. But I'll tell you what, there isn't anything that lights Charlotte's face up like her 13 grandchildren. And on Christmas Eve, they all gather at Shasha and Granberry's. And I remember one Christmas Eve in particular when Shasha was getting ready for him to come. Well, she was pulling stuff out of the cabinets, and all of a sudden, down she went on the floor, and her arm was hurt. Barry says, "Come on, Shasha, we're going to go to the hospital." She said, "No, I'm not going to the hospital." So they called Dr. Steve Spann. Dr. Spann comes over, and he confirms that Charlotte's arm is broken. Charlotte still was not going to the hospital. So Dr. Spann took a magazine, and he wrapped her arm up, and Charlotte had her family Christmas. A third heart that God has given Charlotte is a heart for people. Every Sunday morning, you're going to find Charlotte either out in the coffee bar or at the Welcome Center, hugging and loving on everybody. She loves to meet new people. She loves to make sure that they feel plugged into the church, and she always knows your name. One of the stories that Kristen Campbell relayed to me was one time when Kristen's mom was here visiting her from out of town. Her mother had a heart attack. Kristen and her mom rushed to the emergency room, and Kristen felt very alone. She was there by herself, not knowing what was going to happen to her mom, and in walked Charlotte. Charlotte sat down with her. She comforted her. She let her know that she did not have to go through this alone. And I know, just from looking out here in the audience, there's a lot of you that can stand up here and tell the very same stories of how Shasha and Barry have made themselves available to this church. And we just thank God for that. The fourth heart that I would like to talk about is Charlotte has a heart for the church. Charlotte loves our church. She loves to come to church. She loves to worship, and she loves to praise God. I don't care how many things Charlotte has to do on Sunday, she is not going to miss worship. She loves that. She loves to encourage people. She loves to encourage you to be the person that God wants you to be, to grow your gifts. And she loves to pray. Charlotte and Barry have prayed for us every single day. And to just think what a comfort and a blessing that is to know that this church has been covered in prayer for the last 14 years. The last heart that I wanted to talk about is actually the very biggest heart. And this is the heart that God has given Charlotte for him. Charlotte loves the Lord more than anything. And she wants you to know the Lord too. At every table grace, at every mugs and muffins, at every ladies' retreat, at every event that we have, Charlotte always tells about Jesus. When she was thinking about forming the ladies' ministry and she was trying to figure out what name would be good, she thought about Jeremiah 32:39, and it says, "Then I will give them one heart and one way, so that they will always fear me, for their own good and for the good of their children after them." As you can see, Charlotte, God has molded all of Charlotte's hearts into a one-heart ministry, and we have all been blessed by that. And on a personal note, I just want to thank you, Charlotte, for our friendship. We've had a mighty lot of good laughs, and we've had some tears. And Gary and I are going to miss you and Barry so much, but we know that God has a wonderful retirement plan for you. And we wait with great expectation to see what He's going to do with y'all next. Thanks. We'll miss you.
Oh, I hope you're having a good time. Isn't this great to be here? We're just getting started, by the way. I know there's many of you who are not a member of our fellowship, the Westview Crosspoint family. There's some out-of-town guests here, family members here. I want to invite you all. If you're not a member of our church, you've come to this weekend, to this event to honor the Landrums. If you're a family member, if you've come from out of town, we want to invite you to stand. We want to recognize you. Please stand. Welcome you. Good. All over the place tonight. Good. Welcome. Welcome. We're glad that you're here. We've got a couple of famous friends I want to invite up. They're some friends that go way back, is what I understand. You may know them by the names Mongoose or Upton and Flyface. This is Ray McPhail. We welcome you, and Harry Upton, and we welcome you. And they're famous friends because he's told so many famous stories about them. We thought we'd give them a chance to tell a story or two. Flyface.
Thank you, Roger. First of all, every Flyface story you've heard is a lie. We had lunch with Barry today, and Barry's scared to death. He doesn't know what's coming. Barry, you can rest easy. For me, I don't know what's going to happen when Upton gets to you. But Roger called a few weeks ago to ask us to come and just say a few words about our college days with Barry. And I thought of 1,000 stories, but then I started thinking which one I could tell. And I decided in a church group with 3 kids and 13 grandkids, and with Barry not having gotten his last paycheck, that I wasn't going to tell any story. But congratulations, Barry. We love you. We're glad to be here with you.
Thank you. And Ray and I both thank you an awful lot for inviting us to be part of this. We know that Barry has talked about us over the years. And this is going to make Roger nervous, but Roger, I guarantee you we'll be through on time here. Since Barry and I go back to elementary school, I don't know where to start. But I'm going to start with a life-defining moment for Barry. And it was at the beginning of a long, hot summer, 1956, Laurel, Mississippi. We were juniors in high school. And at that point, I can only describe Barry as a wimp. He had no athletic ability. He was physically unattractive. But he was not without talent. He could play the violin, the harmonica, and the trumpet in the high school band, even though in the band he was not first chair, he was somewhere down 3 or 4 chairs. He was not even number 1 in the cornet section. And he didn't even have a cool car. He drove a 1952 Crosley. That's smaller than a Mini Cooper, so he didn't have much going for him. And we were hanging out in a gravel parking lot at a local drive-in called Tight's Place. And we were playfully throwing water balloons. A local ruffian came riding by on a motorbike, and his name was Alan Neely. And he was built like a brick, he's built like a pit bull. And he was riding around that parking lot spraying gravel. And somebody handed Barry a water balloon and suggested that he throw it at Neely. Surprisingly, Barry did it. He hit Neely, knocked him off of that motorbike. The motorbike started doing a number on Neely around and around that parking lot. When Neely finally got out from under that motorbike, he came up to us. Some of our friends had run. I had not. I'd stayed there. And he said, "Who threw that balloon?"
Somebody said Barry did. At that point, Neely commenced to spread gravel and Barry all over that parking lot. And I started to help, but decided that this would be a good learning experience for Barry. And it was. Having quickly finished his task, Neely grabbed Barry by the throat, by the collar, and he asked him point blank, right in his face, "Are you ever going to do that again?" And Barry's response was, "Not if you don't want me to." I'm telling you, I was embarrassed. Jeez. I knew at that point that I had to take him under my wing. I started a training program for Barry, and it was better than Charles Atlas had at that time. We hung a heavy-duty punching bag in his garage. We got some weights. He started lifting weights. We went down to the football field. We got the two-man blocking sled we put in his backyard. He started working out there. And over the summer, he gained 25 pounds. He muscled up. He got rid of his musical pursuits, became a running back. Became a running back on the Laurel High team. His life had changed, and he became nearly as popular as I was. We went on from there to wrestle a live bear, hunt live rattlesnakes, capture a mongoose and put him in a box, conquer the Chattooga River, go on a cattle drive in Montana, and as Ray said, there were many, many other things that he did and we did that we can't talk about. What has been a life-defining moment has not been a moment for me, but having Barry as a lifetime friend has been tremendous for me over the period of 60 years. And Rev, we love you. You the man.
Anytime, anywhere, I will even fight a bear. Anytime, anywhere, I will even fight a bear. Anytime, anywhere, I will even fight a bear. Anytime, anywhere, I will even fight a bear.
Shine, Granberry, we love you. Shine, Granberry, this is what you do.
You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry. You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry. You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry. You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry.
Shine, Granberry, we love you. Shine, Granberry, this is what you do.
BBS is so much fun, let's learn and everyone. BBS is so much fun, let's learn and everyone. You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry. You drove off and forgot me, Barry, Barry.
Shine, Granberry, we love you. Shine, Granberry, this is what you do.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no pain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no pain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no pain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no pain.
Shine, Granberry, we love you. Shine, Granberry, this is what you do.
Have I told you about my grandkids? 13, 13. Have I told you about my grandkids? 13, 13.
Football's what I used to do, no pain, no pain. Football's what I used to do, no pain, no pain.
Shine, Granberry, we love you. Shine, Granberry, this is what you do.
Knock, knock, who's there? I'm so funny.
Shasha, help me. Where's my phone? Where's my key? Shasha, help me.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
Dinner time, fruit and salad. Dinner time, fruit and salad. You are welcome for something.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
Ladies come and be apart, one heart, one heart. Ladies come and be apart, one heart, one heart. You are welcome for something.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
Here's a sermon just for you. We'll be done at 2.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
I hunt snakes, I hunt hogs, I can do it all. I hunt snakes, I hunt hogs, I can do it all.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
Table grapes, reserve your space. Table grapes, reserve your space.
Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Football used to be my game, no pain, no gain. Everyone now, Shasha and Granberry, we love you. Shasha and Granberry, this is what you do.
All right. Boy, this is good. This is good stuff. I'm Bud Landrum, otherwise known as G. Berry Jr. Now, they say that imitation is the highest form of flattery. I'm not quite sure I'm going to achieve that tonight. Furthermore, I've got some advice for you, especially for those of you who've seen something like this before. Hey, go on ahead and lower your expectations so you won't be disappointed, all right? So, we're going to give this a whirl, all right? All right. Hey, all right. Hey, it's good to be here at Good to be here at West University Baptist Church. It is good to be here, and I tell you what, we've had such a fine 15 years here. What's that, Shasha? 14 years. Shasha, tell me, 14 years. Hey, look. Hey, time flies when you're having fun, people. Time flies when you're having fun. I love you folks. It's been a wonderful 14 years. Now, hey, we love the church. Now, speaking of church, the church comes from the Greek word ekklesia. Ekklesia, E-K-K-L-E-S-I-A. Ekklesia, and so there's also the Hebrew knessia. Furthermore, there's the Spanish iglesia. All right, so, now look, hey, now let's get serious about this because let God be God and let the church be God's people, okay? So, when you think of the church, here is the church. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Now, y'all hang with me now. Hang with me now. Hey, here is the church, if you will, and here's the steeple. Open the doors, and here are the people. All right. So, it is very important people is a part of the church. So now, a few years back, we had a couple come up and introduce themselves to me and Charlotte, Shasha. And so they came up, and of course I said, well, hey, I'm Barry Landrum. Good to meet you. And this is my wife. Bong. Hey. I blanked on her name. So I say, hey, this is my wife, Charlie. Oh, hey, you know what Shasha says? Barry. All right, but hey, now look, as much as I love to talk to people, and you know I love people, hey, I also like to talk to myself. Now, occasionally somebody catches me talking to myself, and they ask me about it. Someone come up and say, hey, man, hey, I saw you in your car the other day, and I think you talking to yourself. And I say, I do. I talk to myself for two reasons. One is, I like to hear what an intelligent person has to say. Two is, I like to talk to an intelligent person. Well, all right. Hey, now look, I tell you, we got Fly Face and Upton here, those scoundrels, and so they can testify to this. But growing up in Laurel, Mississippi, now you had to learn to be tough. Now Upton tried to make me out like I wasn't tough. But let me tell you something. You had to learn some tough things, and so we used to hear things like, hey, you cut up, you get your big head tore up. All right? Hey, don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. That's the kind of stuff you hear. Now, y'all know my daughter, Gina. Oh, man, one time Gina was going to lay something on me. Boy, she had something really big to say. She going to give me her opinion. And so she prefaced with this. Now, Daddy, you take this for what it's worth. You know what I said to that? That's exactly what I intend to do. All right. Okay, now look, hey, we got to get to winding this thing up. But I tell you, hey, now you know that I love football. Now, we've already talked about it tonight. I love football. I played in Laurel, Mississippi. And I played at Mississippi College. And one time I was in a game. I was playing linebacker on defense. And the coach started yelling at me because I wasn't hitting anybody. And it wasn't me. And so I said, hey, it was Billy Ray McGibbons. He was the linebacker next to me over there. Coach is always getting us confused, and you couldn't tell him otherwise. So here's what I did. Next play, I'm going to knock somebody's block off. Boy, I'm going to lay it on them. And so I got ready. And that running back came through the line, and man, I closed my eyes, and I hit him with all I was worth. Just cleaned his clock. You know what happened? Broke my collarbone. Hey, that was the end of that. Well, hey, all right. Now look, hey. Now look, I'm out of time. I want to tell a couple of more stories. Actually, I got one more story. It's actually. All right. Hey, I got one more story, and I'm gonna tell you. It's two in one, but I'm gonna tell it. And so now look, back to the church. This being a Baptist church. We baptize around here, do we not? Now, baptize comes from the Greek baptizo, to immerse. Baptism, immersion, baptizo. B-A-P-T-I-Z-O, B-A-P-T-I-S-O, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. All right, so we like to baptize around here. So, number of years back, it was Baptism Sunday. And so I'm standing in the baptismal and waiting for this middle-aged woman who's coming down the steps, and I'm looking at her hair, thinking, looks store-bought to me. So she come down, sure enough, just as I put her under the water, her wig floated off her head. Oh, man, I said, what am I going to do? This is not good. So I started taking her through the water, trying to catch her up to the wig. Hey, every time I moved her, the wig floated further away. Next thing you know, she starts sputtering and stammering and kicking. And so I realized I'd had her under the water for about 2 minutes. She was out of air. So I say, hey, I got to do something. And you know I wasn't about to send her under the water with hair and bring her up without, okay? So what I did was, hey, I grabbed her with one arm, and I grabbed that wig with the other, and I slapped it on her head, brought her up. Boy, she come up gasping for air. The thing was, I didn't have a chance to straighten her wig. So her long hair was hanging down like this. It looked like I wrung her neck. Oh, I tell you what, hey, we have a good time with baptism. A good time with baptism. So, now there's one more. Now, y'all know in the baptismal, in the baptistry, we got the men's side. You got the stairwell going up to the men's side with the men's dressing room. You got the ladies' side, stairwell going up to the ladies' dressing room. And so this young man comes down to be baptized. I put him under the water, bring him up. And so he wasn't really thinking what he was doing. He starts leaving, going up the ladies' side. Oh, yeah. So he decides, hey, ain't no way I'm going to go through that ladies' dressing room. I got to turn around and get back to the other side. So what does he do? He going to swim from one side to the other. And the whole congregation is watching him through the glass partition. All right. Well, hey, now look, needless to say, we started advertising we're going to have baptisms on the next Sunday. Man, we packed the house out, boy, every time. Everybody showed up. Everybody showed up. All right. That actually was it. So, hey, look, let's, please, oh, quit it. Oh, come on. I just quit that. Oh, y'all quit that. Well, quit that. That's too much. All right, look, hey, it's time to bring up the real deal, G. Barry III.
Hey, that's great. That was great. Yeah. Oh, my word. Wow, I can't follow that. I'm telling you. First story I ever told as pastor of this church was related to Bud. And so let me run it by you one more time. My name is G. Barry Landrum III. My granddaddy was named Greenberry, B-E-R-R-Y. My daddy came along. They wanted to name him after his dad, but they didn't want to name him Greenberry, so they named my dad G.B. My dad had no name, just two initials, G.B. That was it. Well, he left Little Laurel, Mississippi, went up to Indiana University, and his mama said, "Now, son, when you get up there and fill out that registration card, you put down there G, and then in parentheses you put only, B, parentheses, only, Landrum." And they'll know that means initial only. So he was telling me about this and said, I did this what my mom told me to do. But the little girl in the registrar's office, she, for some reason, left off those parentheses. And he said, I was known by the professors for 4 years as Gonely Bonely Landrum. Yeah. Now, I come along and they wanted to name me after that tradition, but they didn't want to name me Greenberry. They didn't want to name me GB. Of course, they didn't want to name me Gonely Bonely. So, they named me G. I have no first name. G. Barry, B-A-R-Y, G. Barry the Third. Yeah. Never has been a first or a second, and I'm the third one that's come along. Weird. Now, you'll believe this because Bud's here tonight, and Charlotte, of course, is, and they can all verify what I'm fixing to tell you, because it gets crazy. Bud was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I'll never forget the lady from the health department. She's sitting over there filling out the birth certificate, asking us all these questions. She said, now what y'all gonna name him? I said, well, we're going to name him G. Barry the Fourth. I told her I was the third. And then I went through the little routine I just gave you about Greenberry, GB, Golden Boneley, and all that. And I said, we're going to name him. She said, oh, well, sir, if there never has been a first or a second, and you name him the fourth, you'll have all kind of problems. You'll have inheritance problems, Social Security problems, insurance problems. Man, she painted this horrible picture. So finally, we just agreed. And he is G. Barry Jr. I'm the third, and he's a junior. True. Yeah, he was telling me back before he had the kids, he said, well, Dad, we'll name my son the senior and get this mess straightened out once and for all. I said, well, good. Let's do that. No, we, that Upton, yeah, he needs something, I'm telling you right now. Yeah, I did try to play a little football in high school and in college. And now Puddin Davis is here tonight. He was, where are you? Yeah, Puddin right over here. Here's Puddin. Puddin was, yeah, Dana Morris's dad and mom. They're here tonight. Puddin was, and Jeff's mom too. Good to see her here from Pennsylvania. Glad you're here tonight. And so Puddin was a little All-American tackle on our team. And when your senior year is up, that football is over for you. Puddin loved the game. He is going to seminary the following year, and his spring training, no seniors ever, they don't even want to look at a football field. They're so tired of football. Puddin is out there with his uniform on. He comes out the whole month, and he loves football that much. And so he and I were good buddies. And whenever we were scrimmaging, I was playing linebacker, he would come out of the huddle on the offensive team, he'd look at me, and he'd do this. That meant the play is going that way. Well, man, I'd get in on the tackle. I'd go for it. Being a linebacker, you move around sort of, at your will. He'd come out there and do this. I'd get over there. I was like a wild man out there. I was making 50, 60% of the tackles on the football team. And the coaches wondering, where have you been? And, well, I mean, I had quite a spring. You might believe it. The coach really was taking notice of me. I was getting in on the tackles. I was making a bunch of them by myself. I was gang tackling with other guys. We were really out there popping real hard. Well, the next fall, Puddin ain't there. And I'm back to my old self. And so the Coach Murphy comes and says, Landrum, what's happened to you, man? Last spring, you were a wild man out here. What's gone wrong? I said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. The Lord taketh Puddin to seminary. Yeah. Oh, man, we had some great times. And he was the one who got me to loving the stadiums and going to ball games. And we used to go to ball games. And that's a whole other story. But we had a lot of fun. And it's just so good. Good to see you. Good to see you folks. And I'm just so appreciative of everything that's been done and said and all the hard work. My goodness alive, we're just so blessed. I've known it and thought it and thanked God for it many, many times. But tonight, man, it has really, really come home how blessed we are and how thankful we are for all of you and these years together and service together and having this just delightful, fun time tonight. I told Shasha, I said, Shasha, I know you want to say a word of appreciation and gratitude. She's actually not on the program. So come on up, hon, and say a word. Say a word to her.
Okay, I want you to stay up here just a minute. I remembered today a Barry story that I haven't told you. You want to hear it? Oh, yeah. Well, I think it was about a year and a half ago, Alita O'Neill's mother passed away, and we were having the funeral in Dallas, out from Dallas. Stacy Pennell's grandmother. And so we were coming back, and I was driving. Barry likes for me to drive a lot, and he reads a lot. Look, he's nervous now. It's okay. So we were coming back, and a lot of traffic. Oh, there's just a lot of traffic on that freeway. And there was a place, you know how people go down and you're not supposed to. They leave the freeway and they go down to the service road. And I've never liked to do that because I'm always afraid I'll turn over, really. That's the reason. And Barry said, go down there, go down there. I said, no, I am not going to do that. I am not going to do that. He said, yeah, go down. We'll be sitting here all day. Go down there. And it was a pretty steep little hill there. And a lot of people were going down there. Well, about that time, which we did not see, a policeman came down that service road. And so I don't think it would have mattered to him anyway, but that's okay. Because he was determined I was going down that hill. And he said, you go down that hill. I said, okay. So I very cautiously went down the hill, got to the very bottom of it, and the policeman, he's standing there. And so he stopped me, and he came over, and he said, I can't believe that you came down this hill, and you saw me standing here. I just can't. He was so apologetic that he had stopped me. And he said, I can't believe you did that. I did not throw Barry under the bus, as some of you have been saying about some other things lately. He threw me under the bus. I wish you could have seen him. He was sitting over there in the passenger seat. He never opened his mouth. He just sat there like this.
No. I said to the policeman, I told her not to go down that hill.
No, he wished he had said that, but he didn't say it. I got a big ticket, and guess who had to pay it? No, that was, we did. We had to get another laugh out of it. You know, you just do. But, I joined Barry in saying how gracious you are and how wonderful all of this is. We are blessed to have been with you for these 14 years. And God we talk about this a lot, and we do. We pray a lot about it, and we just say, Lord, it's just hard to even imagine so many blessings and so many good things that you have done, because you see, it's God that does them. He's the one that does them. He's the one that leads us and guides us and tells us and shows us and helps us to be the person that he wants us to be, to help us to be, and to help you to be. And it's always a blessing to be able to know that we have his power and we have his strength in us. And so we do. We love you and we pray for you, and we pray that you're going to continue in that you're going to continue to love our Lord and to serve him and to be faithful to Roger and to Julie as the way you have been to us. And we thank you and we bless you in Jesus' name. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, there's many things I'd love to say about this extraordinary couple, Barry and Charlotte Landrum, but time will not permit me to do that. And you've heard so many wonderful things that I could never top it. So I'm just going to cut to the chase. Barry Landrum is a person that you never know what he's going to do. But more than that, the staff never knows what he's going to ask them to do. Okay? I got a call from him back several weeks ago, and he said, Ronnie, he said, can you come on a party, come on to my office. I said, oh, so boy, I hit it over there. He opened the door and said, come in, have a seat. He said, right there, he said, I got a seat, the door's shut. He said, Ronnie, he said, Ronnie, you won't believe this. But he said, I've written a song for my retirement. And he said, I want you to sing it. Now, people, listen to me. I've been here a long time. And I know you don't like sad songs for any kind of joyous occasion, especially celebrating a going away party. But I tell you, I had to say, well, Barry, I'll do it just for you, because I want to tell you, this song that he wrote comes right from the heart of G. Barry Landrum. I said, this song comes right from the heart of G. Barry Landrum. Would you join me in that? Ready? Let's say, this song comes right from the heart of G. Barry Landrum. Well, I preach like Billy Graham. The crowds are going sides. When I announced retirement, they almost had a riot. Well, they're buried to the bone. But don't try to bury me when I'm gone. Well, now I might be retired, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. Well, every time I preach the Bible, certain names seem to appear. When I use the name of Fly Face, it strikes the heart with fear. Well, I'm buried to the bone. Help me. Don't try to bury me when I'm gone. Well, now I might be retired, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. Like David, I'm a musician. My name would quite appear. When I use the name of my face, it struck the heart with fear. Well, I'm buried to the bone. Don't try to bury me when I'm gone. Well, now it might be, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. Like David, I'm a musician. My gift is quite profound. I play harp and so and harmonica, but with the fault falls down with the drum. But don't try to bury me when I'm gone. Well, now I might be retired, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. I know you love my Charlotte. She works so very hard. She ministers to the ladies, keeps us all in one accord. Well, now we're buried to the bone, buried Charlotte. Don't try to bury us when I'm gone. Well, now I might be retired, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. Last verse. Some say they're gonna miss us. We surely hope that's right. For Charlotte and me, these many years have been a sheer delight. Well, now I'm buried to the bone. Help me. Don't try to bury me when I'm gone. Well, now I might be retired, but let me tell you, there's still life in these old bones. I won't be shirking, gonna keep working. These old bones will keep walking around. Woo! Oh, well, I'm Baptist, Southern Baptist, hard shell, moderate conservative, but I ain't liberal. I'm buried to the bone. Off the stage. Let's go.
I have some very special memories in the fact that I was on the search committee that went looking for Barry. We didn't know we were looking for Barry at the time.
We prayed every week together. We spent a lot of time in prayer, and we went through a lot of people, and we actually found Barry early on, but came back to him later. And there was a peace amongst everybody on the committee, knowing that that was the man God had picked for this church.
When Barry and Charlotte came, our little church was really wounded and basically dysfunctional. And with patience and kindness and loads of leadership and love, they nursed us back to health.
We're in the low 300s with the one campus, and it was interesting to watch Barry come in, study the church, study the needs, realize the problems that we had, and then start addressing these problems. And, you know, through the time period that he was here, we grew from the low 300s to over 1,000. We have the 2 campuses.
The church has grown tremendously. I mean, the numbers are clear. So you just look at the numbers and you say it's gone from 1 campus, 1 service to 2 campuses, 2 services at each, so a total of 4 services.
We visited the church about 9 years ago, and we're checking out a couple of churches in the area, and probably 2-3 days later, early the next week, he came and visited us at home, which I thought was so neat. I mean, I've never had a pastor visit the house, and he made us feel so warm and welcome.
Well, I love that he is a scholar. He's one of the funniest scholars I've ever known, and I love that too.
I often say I think he'd make a good comedian.
When we met Barry, he, as everybody realizes, he's kind of a little bit ugly, so he was something that we remembered,
I always think of Barry, a lot of the stories he would tell kind of centered around, a lot of them would center around football, or I think it was Flyface, a friend of his, and just those funny anecdotal stories just made the church feel so warm. I mean, he was solid on scriptural, the original intent of the scriptures, and I love his passion for the scriptures, but that blended with some of the stories he told really made it a memorable experience for us.
I really, truly appreciate that both Barry and Charlotte are so committed to prayer and so convinced that every good thing starts with prayer.
Prayer works, and Barry knows how to use it, and Barry uses it very effectively.
They have stood for godliness as a character trait all their life. They've not, stood for performance or personality or those type things, although they're wonderful, their personalities are wonderful. They always exemplify godliness, and if for anything else, I think they have left a legacy to our family and to our church of that type of godliness.
Mrs. Landrum, Charlotte has just done a tremendous job with the women's ministry at our church. It has grown tremendously. I mean, all of the different events that we have, I know the Table Grace sold out, women on the waiting list. I mean, it just speaks volumes of her leadership, of what she's done, how many women that have come to know Christ. All of these things that she has led and been a part of has just been tremendous, and we're very grateful for her.
I work at the Welcome Center on Sunday morning, and to see her greet the children of the church, and she doesn't just know about her own grandchildren, she knows about every child in that church. She knows them by name, she loves them. She's just a grandmother to them all.
They've been more like parents to me, and I have a great regard for them, especially Dr. Landrum just being a role of a father figure, and Charlotte just being a nice mother.
It's not like the typical pastor-parishioner relationship. It's more like family. It's a family here, and it's because of their loving leadership.
Of all Barry and Charlotte's many wonderful qualities, stubbornness is probably one of the best, because it doesn't matter how vehemently you tell them that they don't need to come see you in the hospital, they will be there, no matter what.
Well, when someone gets sick in our family or anyone else's family, he sometimes beats the family to the hospital. So he goes to see them, comforts them, prays with them.
Not only us, but many of our friends have really had a need in their life, and Barry and Charlotte have been right there for them.
He's just been there. I mean, anytime I had a problem in the hospital, had to go to the hospital, he was there. He'd come. And he's just a wonderful pastor.
When my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had her surgery at Methodist Hospital, one of the very first people that arrived there when she was being prepped up for her surgery was Dr. Landrum. And I just remember him being there for my mom, praying with her, and just how much that meant to me to know that he was there for her.
When Kathy was being treated for cancer, last 2.5 to 3 years, Kathy's had numerous surgeries, and Barry was there at the hospital every time before the surgeries, and this was an incredibly stressful time for Kathy and myself. And Barry was there leading prayer. I mean, all these doctors around, these nurses, and you could just feel the presence of the Holy Spirit at that time. And for Barry to be there, I know he got us through that. And he gave us so much comfort through that time.
And to expand on that, Barry would email and call. I mean, I can't tell you how many times he called me to pray with me, and I'd pray for Charlotte with him.
When my dad was here at MD Anderson last year, for example, Charlotte came and spent the whole day with my mother almost. Just dropped what she was doing because she knew that I needed help. The depth of their love for, the congregation and just their love and how they express their love has been so important to my entire family that there's no way for me to say thank you.
They've been good. They've been good. You know what I mean? And I love my church.
What more could you want than to get to the end of your life and for Christ to say when you come home, well done, my good and faithful servant. That's what they both, not just one, but both of them. And it's very unusual to find that in a couple that both serve with the sacrifice that they have and the commitment that they have,
Wow. I've often been in a segment on a program where I make people cry, and so I'm going to try to get through that without crying as well. This has been an incredible moment, and I just want you to picture a 3-year-old girl, a little girl, sitting on the 3rd row, watching her daddy preach. And little did this little girl know that one day she would have 5 little boys sitting on that same 3rd row, watching that same daddy preach. Now their grandfather, preaching with passion and purpose. And it has been an incredible moment for us to be here. And I'm so glad back in 1996 that you not only heard, but followed God's calling to come here to West University Baptist Church. And I remember having that conversation with you probably around 1995 and really just encouraging you to go do this and not knowing what was on the other side. And just seeing 14 years later, Gina constantly told me this is the longest she's ever been at a church. And what a great experience it's been. And God put it on Gina's heart for us to be here and come here in 1997. And I'm so glad that we did, to serve with you in ministry and just to watch the growth, to meet these great people, to see what God would do, and just to bless everyone through y'all's faithfulness, Barry and Charlotte, to be here as well. We only had 2 boys when we came here. And we really connected with the mission of West University Baptist at the time, being about families. So we gladly did our part, to bring families into the fold and do that. So we tried to be a part of that mission as well. And it's just been a blessing, an incredible blessing, for us to see you baptize all 5 of our boys here, and knowing that their identity and their future is secure in Christ. And what a blessing it's been. It's something we'll treasure for a long, long time as well. I think it's appropriate, as I'm honoring a pastor, an expression of gratitude, to share a verse and 3 words that all start with C to kind of commemorate this and just to talk about it. It's one of your favorite verses. It's Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is steadfast because he trusts in you. And y'all both have trusted in God and followed him every step of the way. Both you and Barry, Charlotte. Both you and Charlotte have done a great job of doing that. Just trusting him, keeping your mind steadfast on him, and following him every step of the way. I've known you for 22 years, and it's longer than I've known Gina. I don't know if you remember that. Obviously, it meant more to me than it did to you. You were thinking of the moments, not the years, right? Yeah, the great moments that we had together. But I've known you for 22 years and just watched you every step of the way, and it's been a joy for me to see you follow God and to see how he's worked through you and to bless your ministry as well. And just all of the things that he's done in those years that I've known you, Barry, as well. And again, you and Charlotte have just kept your mind steadfast. The 3 C's that I want to talk about, the first one is courage. And we've already heard a lot of stories. We've heard the bear story many times over. Y'all, I've heard it more than y'all have. So, and the story gets longer every time, and the bear gets bigger as well. So, but it took a lot of courage to face the bear. Navigating the creation of a contemporary worship service. Buying property in a landlocked environment. The mission that we started, the medical mission, is creating a new church when we didn't even know that was on the agenda, God's agenda for our strategic planning process and doing that. It took a lot of courage to do that. And even going back to your calling, Barry, as well. Standing before a crowd, not even sure if you were kind of still wrestling with the idea of becoming a pastor. And people in the audience probably when you stood down there who were a little bit doubtful about you even being a pastor because you haven't figured out he's a little mischievous. So, they kind of had their doubts when Barry Landrum was down there, as he's told us many times before. But to have the courage to follow God's calling and to take him on that journey with you and to accept that, and more than just to accept it, to embrace the mission of being a pastor. Shasha, you epitomize courage. Your passion for people, your passion to just love people and meet the needs of people, just everybody, the broken, the people who don't seem like they have needs, but you go and love on them, persevering through adversity, your daily victories over cancer. You already heard Jean tell the story. I watched it. I watched her cook a Christmas Eve meal and serve the meal with a broken arm. We tried to help her. No, I'm serving this. I'm doing this. She wanted it to be a special moment. And to persevere through everything you've done. Y'all have shown so much courage as well. Conviction is the next word that I wanted to talk about. And Barry, you just had a conviction to teach the Bible every Sunday, and thank God for that. There's so many churches that have gone a different direction, and yet you have taught from the Bible and remained real and relevant. And I think that's something that's lost in a lot of churches today, whether they're not real and authentic or not relevant to what needs to be said. And you have touched our hearts, and we thank you for that, of being a Bible-based church and also teaching us to be a house of prayer as well. Shasha, you've followed your convictions as well, and you've shown a true just conviction to your values, and you live those in what you say and what you do every single day, and it's black and white with you. And you have lived those values, and we've all seen that, and we just appreciate that so much, to be a living example of what Christ would want us all to live like, and you have done that. Commitment is the last word. And I think that y'all both can look back on this journey, and you didn't mail it in. Probably we knew when we came over here, this would probably be the last church you pastored. We didn't know how many years that would be. But y'all's talent, y'all's excellence, y'all's experience, you could have just kind of gone through the motions and done a great job. But you didn't do that. You didn't mail it in. You constantly were striving for excellence and were committed. The other thing I think about commitment, Shasha, is we've already heard that she's committed to her grandkids. And I remember Gina and I were just newly dating, and I was waiting for Gina to come downstairs. And Shasha was standing there, and she said, "Mike, I just want some grandkids, And I'm processing this in my mind. I'm thinking, I'm doing my part and going through the stages as fast as I can. We're dating. Ask her to marry me, and we're going to get married, and then hopefully, if we're blessed, we'll have some kids. Then we, have some grandkids and stuff. But you've been committed to those grandkids. You remember that conversation? Yeah. But I just want to say thank you for being faithful. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being faithful to following God's calling. And it's been a joy and privilege for me to call you my pastor first, my father-in-law, and then being a true father figure in my life. And I thank you so much for that.
I'm here with Mark Boucher and Amy Yin in front of the Landrum Living Wall, commemorating the founding of Crosspoint Church. And we're about to make a special presentation to Barry and Charlotte Landrum. Amy and Mark have been a part of our retirement team, helping lead us to all of these wonderful celebrations and festivities. And you're going to see Barry and Charlotte's initial reaction to the Landrum Living Wall. Take a look.
Pastor Barry Charlotte, on behalf of the Pastor Retirement Celebration team, we just want to present to you the Landrum Living Wall in thanks to recognize all that you've done and how you've impacted our lives here at Crosspoint and Westview, and just as we also know that you'll be impacting lives as you go on, and that's why it's called the Living Wall, because we know that your ministry will continue to live on, and even as you retire from here, we know that you will be just spreading the word and the love of Christ. And so this wall is meant to capture that, and just the love and the leadership that you've given us all. We love you guys, and we thank you.
Barry and Charlotte, we want to say thank you. Thank you so much. This wall is a part of you, as you are a part of everyone here in this congregation. And this wall is representative of things that you have shared with us over the years and your ministry. Each one of these boxes, the 12 boxes on either side, represent the 12 disciples, and they're multiplied, and the word is multiplied. The central feature of this wall is the cross. You have always shared with us the importance of the cross and how that is centered, and that's the reason why it's placed where it is. The sculpture here is the divine servant, Jesus washing the feet of his disciples, as both of you have been strong examples of servanthood for all of us. And the word is prominent in your lives, and it's throughout this piece. And these are your favorite scriptures that you have all shared with us. Some of the words that you have given us, and probably my favorite one is adventure. Life is an adventure, and Jesus wants your life to be an adventure. Risk, service, giving, community, love, grace, prayer, supplication, laughter, abiding, worship, vision, evangelism, and putting on the full armor of God. And we thank you for what you have given us, and we want this to be our gift to you.
Wall, Mark, Amy, why don't you go ahead and come on up with me, commemorates the launch of this campus 5 years ago. And we call it a living wall because it has the panels that are there will be able to be changed out. We'll be able to communicate different ideas and themes. And Joe Huffmeister and Mark Boucher built this wall themselves. Joe, are you here tonight? Oh, okay, great. He's back there in the back, and these guys labored for many hours. And we wanted to take a moment, ask Barry and Charlotte to come on up and make a presentation of this statuette here to them. I'll let one of you guys do that. Amy.
Barry, Charlotte, we just want to present this to you. The video said it represents the divine servant, and you all just have exemplified that, just in your love and your leadership to this church body and to each of us, and how you've touched our lives. And we just thank you so much for just how you have shown us how to love the Lord and how to love other people. So we just thank you so much and want to present this to you.
All I want to share is Barry and Charlotte, look outside here. All these folks, you have touched their lives in an immense way, and I know you have touched our family in an immense way. and your ministry will continue to grow. All the ministries and all the people that you've touched will continue to grow. You planted the seed, and it will continue to grow. And thank you for the blessing that you've been to all of us.
And you guys, I want y'all to stay up here. Thank y'all, Mark, Amy, for that. I've got another presentation, but before I do that, I want to recognize a sub-team of our retirement celebration team. This is the team that helped us raise the love offering, which we're going to present to you all on Sunday morning. I'm not telling you about it now. I'm not telling you how much it is, although they told me today, and I'm like, wow, all right. So that'll be a fun gift that we get to give you guys Sunday. But let me recognize this team of folks. Anthony Brissett, Lorraine Lewis were co-chairs of this group. On the team were Roy Harper and Bud Eby, Mark Boucher, Vaughn Davidson, Cherie Lindley, Heather Gray, Belinda Rossiter, Amy Yin, Michael Manning, and Karen Moore. And this group labored to communicate the word about our desire to express our appreciation and thanks financially through a financial love gift that we'll get to present to them Sunday morning, and then also with this special commemoration. Now, come close over here. The other thing we want to give you is a special book filled with love notes. I know y'all probably, it's usually in this day and time, kids who love on each other are sending text messages or, older adult emails, but we asked everybody to write you a handwritten love note. Some folks maybe type some up, but we have some love notes here. You see the card with your initials on it, and folks have just for the last number of weeks been just taking a moment to express their love and appreciation for you all. And we have this special gift. The retirement celebration team really had the vision for that, and we wanted to make sure that you got that. It says, in appreciation, 1996 to 2010. So God bless you.
Thank you so much. This has been an incredible evening, and you are an incredible group of people. We love you so much, and we thank you for all of your work. I know how much work goes into this because I have done that kind of thing before. But we do thank you for everything, for just every group that participated, every single little thing. It's been so, so very special, and it was great to have the grandkids up here too. Yes, but we do thank you, and thank you. We will just cherish this, and I promise you, read every single one of them. I can promise you that. Thank you so much.
Indeed. Thank you. God bless you. We appreciate you, love you, and are so thankful for this evening and thankful for this evening and what all it has meant to us. Incredible. I've just been incredibly blessed from all of this. You're a wonderful, loving, caring, godly people. And it's just been our privilege to serve you over these years. We're looking forward to Sunday saying another little word of appreciation, but more than that, the installation of Roger Patterson as the senior pastor of the church, buddy.
All right. It's been a fun night. Let me just say, when you who have parents, or you who are parents who have children over at the Westview campus, we've got about 170 kids being cared for over there. So we want to thank that team. When we go back and pick up our kiddos, make sure you love on those ladies and those team members, those students that are out there working to care. Aaron Simpson's going to come and lead us in one final song. It's For Your Glory. And when he's done, we're going to dismiss you out into the Welcome Center and also into the gymnasium. Now, I want you to make sure these ladies have worked hard, not just to present something lovely, but to give you something wonderful for your palate. Please eat up the dessert tonight. Enjoy the punch. And even say thanks to those who will be serving tonight. Barry signs his letters, Sole Deo Gloria, to God alone be the glory. And we're going to sing the song Aaron has written. Go ahead, Barry.
Special thanks, but special thanks for Charles and Dottie Redmond. Where are you folks? Here, to stand up back here. He followed me at the First Baptist Church of Pasadena and has served there for over 20 years. And he has been the most gracious, delightful, encouraging person to follow the pastor that could ever be. You hear bad stories sometimes about these relationships, but they mean so much to us, and God bless you. We're glad that you're here tonight.
Hey, Charles, since I'm following Barry, I may call you for a lesson or two. Is that all right? Good. All right, let's stand to our feet. Let's worship the Lord. And then after we're done, please come and enjoy some dessert and fellowship in the gymnasium. God bless you.
For your glory.